Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. So we've got a exclusive clip from, I believe, the first episode of The Wheel of Time with Nynaeve and Moiraine. So let's have a watch and let's get my reaction to it.
They call you a leader in this town, Wisdom, and here you are cleaning.
Ooh.
This pool is sacred. It's an honor to clean it. What are you doing here? I wanted to walk. In the two rivers. I could ask the same of you. You're not from here, are you?
Interesting.
The old Wisdom brought you here when you were a baby.
Is that a change?
A baby whose parents passed.
That's true.
But no one can remember exactly when. That's the thing about these little towns. No one keeps records of anything. Births, deaths. It doesn't mean we don't remember.
Oh, there's an insinuation there. This is quite the challenge here of superiority.
That old Wisdom. The woman who raised me. When she was only 13, she realized she could listen to the wind. And she went to the White Tower. She walked. From here. Took her months.
Wow. It's quite a change.
And when she got there, your sisters took one look at her ragged clothes, her peasant accent, and they turned her away. She was small and from a little town, but she remembered until the day she died. So do I. See, people say you're too young to be the Wisdom, and I disagree. I think you're strong. Even if you have only had that braid for, what, a year or two? I've had it for 5. So that makes you 25. 26.
Okay.
That doesn't mean I can't do my job. And whatever you may think, that is to protect this town. From you, if I have to.
Oh.
Enjoy your walk.
Wow. So that's a lot going on, and if you look at the way that whole scene is structured from where everybody's been strategically placed, it says a whole lot about where each of these characters are in the way they feel about themselves, how they feel about the other person in the scene. Moiraine has the high ground, signifying her superiority over Nynaeve because of, her role as an Aes Sedai and all of that sort of thing. Now, Nynaeve is never allowed out of the pool. She's never allowed onto the level of Moiraine. It's always kind of a looking up and a looking down situation. These are very subtle things to, spot and pick when you're watching this. I absolutely love that. That's really intriguing, just to see how this scene was set up, along with the dialogue that was spoken between the two women in this scene. As we already know, we knew the ages of the Emond's Field 5 would be, heightened to be a little bit older than they were in the book. So as they said, Nynaeve's around 25, 26 now, and that would put the other 4 around the age of 22, 21, 23. But what was really interesting to me is it looks, unless my brain is absolutely mistaken in my memory of Nynaeve's backstory, it's not explored that deeply. We know in the books her parents died when she was very young and she became orphaned, and the Wisdom in the two rivers took her on. Now that's where I believe, unless someone can correct me in the comments and say that I'm wrong on this, I believe that's where that kind of backstory ended when it came to Nynaeve. And it seems for the show they've now kind of broadened and expanded upon that very subject, and we've got a huge or a completely and more significant backstory to do with Nynaeve, where she was from, because of the way this dialogue was and the way Moiraine was speaking to Nynaeve. It seems she knew a bit more than she was letting on about her as well, and where she was from and all of that sort of thing. One thing I did want to note, this is right at the beginning of this clip. Something very weird happens, and you can quite clearly see this, or at least I can. There's a section right here where it's within the first 6 seconds, Nynaeve, well, the actress Zoe Robbins, they're not using her actual lines from the shot. That they've, made Zoe go and do a VA, a voiceover over this, and then they've introduced that for the shot. So there's a bit of a weird setup and beginning of this video that I can see quite clearly. And it's just a slight little bit of an off-putting sort of situation to begin this thing. It's a very small nitpick, but when you kind of notice these things and you understand it, it's hard not to speak about them, as I'm doing quite clearly now. So yeah, and it's interesting. We seem to have gotten a lot more of a backstory on the previous wisdom that Nynaeve trained with. Seemed, unless I was mistaken in watching this clip, the wisdom from the Emond's Field when they took Nynaeve on was even younger than Nynaeve. Did I mishear that from this clip? And then obviously we've got this, beginning already in this first episode, I presume, this kind of class system, this social structure that they've already begun to explore with the dialogue that these two characters are conversing in, which is really interesting to see. And I wonder if this is going to be a sort of theme for the show moving forward. I think it's quite an evident thing in the books as well, and it's something we're going to be seeing in the show. There's kind of this, class structure of hierarchy that, is taking place. They were talking about Nynaeve's former wisdom having kind of a very common accent, looking like she was very ragged, and she was turned away by the Sisters of the White Tower. And I think that in itself, if you think about that, that's another kind of string to Nynaeve's bow when it comes to, one, hating what the Aes Sedai symbolize and are about, and then secondly, it's probably an added animosity for her when it comes to Moiraine. And just the way, they interact with one another, you can quite clearly see they're going to be, butting heads quite a lot on this first season, especially when it comes to Egwene. Because as I said before, Nynaeve very firmly believes she's the one that should guide Egwene and everything that she's teaching her to be a wisdom, as we know when Moiraine and Lan turn up in the Two Rivers, because it's not going to be called Emond's Field. They've scrapped that for the show. It's called the Two Rivers. So that's really interesting. I think there could be quite a bit more of a playoff there when it comes to the discussion on where Nynaeve is from, because it's been hinted at in this 2-minute this 2-minute clip. So I think that's something that could be explored potentially a bit further on into the first season, or moving even further into the second and third seasons. And I think the same will be said of the wisdom that Nynaeve, was tutelaged under. So yeah, really interesting. But the whole dynamic in this scene was really interesting, just to see how that was playing out. Because Moiraine never lets Nynaeve up onto her level in terms of like eyesight and socially, and just kind of all that kind of structure of how people are. Nynaeve clearly feels she should be on the same level as Moiraine, and she goes to get out of the pool, but Moiraine absolutely is not having any of that. And just I've got to say, I've said this many a time, Rosamund Pike, however you say your name, I'm sorry if I get it wrong from time to time, absolutely kills it when it comes to Moiraine. Just, the tones in her voice, the subtleties and the changes within her delivery of these, what she's speaking and what she's saying to Nynaeve is very good. It's very, very, very good. And, I cannot wait to see more of how Rosamund's going to be, conducting, how she's going to be, portraying Moiraine on the show. And it's one that I'm really looking forward to see. But yeah, what did you guys think? Did you enjoy this clip? I didn't think we would get another clip anytime soon this week, even though it is a Wednesday, I believe. I have no clue what day it is at the moment. I think it might be even a Tuesday. What day is it? It is a Wednesday. Okay. Yeah, I didn't think we'd get a clip, but we have it. Really fun clip. I think it shows a lot about where these two people are in the story and how they view themselves and one another. And I think that's going to be very much a continued theme in these episodes in the first season between these two. And it's going to be really interesting to see how this plays out. And of course, you do get to see a lot of Zoe's fierceness and feistiness in her portrayal of Nynaeve. She's very kind of calm, but you can feel the undertones, the undercurrent of that anger, and she kind of lets that out in specific moments in this 2-minute clip. But yeah, hope you guys all enjoyed the video. I certainly did. I can't wait. We got 2 more days. Well, 1 day if you want to discount Thursday, because we go into Friday for myself at least, because I'll be watching these 3 first episodes at 1 a.m. Friday morning, and I'll be getting my reviews, all my reactions to the episodes, and all the other videos that I've got planned to follow on from that. But yeah, can't wait, and I know you guys can't as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. I'll catch you all on Friday.